From a very young age, I have always loved to read. It is one of my favorite pastimes, and when I go into a bookstore, I feel like a kid in a candy store. Creative writing is also a passion of mine, and I have written more poems and short stories than I can count. When I was younger, I, like many kids, changed my mind a lot about what I wanted to be when I grew up, but one career that stuck with me was teaching. At first, I was sure that I'd want to be an elementary school teacher, but working as a lifeguard and being around kids all day made me realize that while I do like to babysit young kids, I would not want to teach them. When I got to high school, I enjoyed English class more than any other subject, not just because English is my strength, but because of the many wonderful English teachers I had. I realized that literature and creative writing were my passions, and that becoming a high school English teacher was what I wanted to do. In the beginning of the semester, I was pretty nervous while presenting to the class. I was not very confident in myself, and I was unsure if I had the ability to be an effective teacher. I would often look at my notes, and my eye contact was all over the place. I also said like and quite a few times. My hand gestures were not always effective. I had to find the right balance between too much and too little. Because I was presenting to my peers and friends, I did not really feel like a teacher, and so I had to remind myself to pretend that I was teaching a real class and to not goof off too much. As the semester went on and I got more practice in preparing and presenting my lessons, my confidence grew, and because of this, my teaching improved greatly. I did not look at my notes or fidget as much, and my passion and excitement for English began to show through. When I was writing my lesson plans, I always made sure to make my lessons engaging and interesting for my students so that they will enjoy learning and not get bored, even if English is not their favorite subject. This year, we had two field experiences. The first was tutoring middle school students at Lawton C. Johnson Summit Middle School in Summit, New Jersey. I tutored 3 8th graders in all subjects. I helped them with their homework and with preparing for quizzes and tests. I also helped them prepare for the NJ Ask by completing practice questions every week. One of the most useful things that I taught my students was to read the questions carefully before answering them instead of just rushing to get the work done. Although it was sometimes hard to get them motivated and to get them to stay focused, I enjoyed getting to know my students and seeing them improve. My proudest moment was when one of my students excitedly ran up to me and told me that she had gotten an A on her test in her hardest subject, language arts, after I had helped her study. It gave me a big confidence boost and made me realize that I could be an effective teacher. My second field experience was being a classroom assistant in the ESL program. The class was very diverse. There were students from Turkey, Thailand, China, Vietnam, Colombia, Sierra Leone, and Saudi Arabia. Because I did not know what to expect, I was surprised at how well they could speak English. The course focused on speaking and communication, so I often helped the students with grammar and learning new words. I also came up with discussion questions to get them engaged in conversation, and at the end of the semester, I led the class in playing fun Jeopardy-style games about verb tenses and homophones, 2 areas that I noticed the students were struggling with the most. They really enjoyed playing the games, and I was so proud when they answered most of the questions correctly. My favorite thing about my ESL experience was that the students were so eager to learn, and I really enjoyed learning about their cultures and teaching them about my own. Overall, all of my experiences this semester have helped me to improve as a teacher. I have learned many useful strategies for planning and delivering lessons, and I got to practice these strategies on both my peers and on real students. While I know I still have a lot to learn and improve on before I can be the best teacher I can be, I feel much more prepared for the future, and for the first time, I am more excited than nervous about starting my classroom field experiences next semester.
Got a picture